Hi, I am Darren Castillo from BSRT.
Hi, I am Aaron Jane Galang from BSN1.
Hi, I am Mark Joseph Hernandez from BSN1.
Hi, I'm Danica Kizon from BSN1.
Welcome to Ethics. We were tasked to choose one specific major area of ethics. So, as a team, we chose normative ethics. Why? Then let's find out.
As a group, we chose normative ethics because it is a subset of moral philosophy or ethics dealing with moral rights and wrong standards. It entails the creation of moral rules that have direct consequences for human behavior, institution, and way of life. Normative ethics is the process of determining moral principles that govern what is right and wrong behavior. Example of normative ethics is about intrinsic value, right and wrong, and or virtues. The following are claims concerning normative ethics. It is wrong to kill people just because they make you angry. We should fight to free slaves when necessary, even when doing so is illegal. Pain is intrinsically bad. We ought not to cause pain without a good reason to do so. It is reasonable for a person to give charity to those in need, even if no reciprocation should be expected.
So, under normative ethics, there are three major theories: the consequentialist theory, the deontological ethics, and the virtue ethics. So, let's start with consequentialist theory. It is a normative principles require that we first tally both the good and bad consequences of an action. Second, we at the point decide if the absolute great outcome exceed the complete terrible results. Assuming the great results are more prominent, the activity is ethically legitimate. Assuming the terrible results are more prominent, the activity is ethically inappropriate. Consequentialist theory are some of the time called teleological theories. From the Greek word telos or end, since the outcome of the activity is the soul deciding the element of its ethical quality. In consequentialist theory, there are three subdivisions of consequentialism emerge. First, the ethical egoism. An action is morally right if the consequences of that action are more favorable than unfavorable only to the agent performing the action. Second, the ethical altruism. An action is morally right if the consequences of that action are more favorable than unfavorable to everyone except the agent. And lastly, the third, the utilitarianism. An action is morally right if the consequences of that action are more favorable than unfavorable to everyone.
In deontological ethics, an action is considered morally good because of some characteristics of the action itself, not because of the product of the action is good. Deontology is any system involving a clear set of rules. Deontological ethics hold that at least some actions are morally obligatory regardless of their consequences for human welfare. Deontological ethics is commonly contrasted to consequentialism and virtue ethics. In this terminology, action is more important than the consequences. Example of deontological ethics. It is the belief that killing someone is wrong, even if it was in self-defense, because it is stated in the Ten Commandments that thou shalt not kill. The appeal of deontology lies in its consistency. By applying ethical duties to all people in all situations, the theory is readily applied to the most practical situations. By focusing on a person's intentions, it is also placed ethics entirely within our control. We can't always control or predict the outcomes of our actions, but we are in complete control of our intentions. Deontologies requires us to follow universal rules we give to ourselves. These rules must be in accordance with reason. In particular, they must be logically consistent and not give rise to contradictions.
Virtue theories. Many philosophers claim that morality is defined through adhering to clearly defined rules of conduct, such as don't kill or don't steal. Virtue ethics, on the other hand, emphasizes the importance of developing good character traits such as benevolence. Virtue theory, which has its roots in ancient Greek civilization, is one of the oldest normative traditions of Western philosophy. Plato stressed four virtues, which are wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice, which were after next cardinal virtues. Virtue theory emphasizes moral education such as virtues character traits are developed in one's youth. Adults, therefore, are responsible for instilling virtues in the young. Aristotle said that virtues are acquired good habits that help us control our emotions. For example, in reaction to my natural fear, I should cultivate the virtue of courage, which enables me to remain calm in the face of risk. When it comes to bravery, for example, if I don't have enough, I develop a cowardly disposition, which is a vice. If I have so much more courage, I develop a rashness disposition, which is a vice. Finding the right mean between extreme character traits, according to Aristotle, is a difficult challenge. In reality, we all need help from our reason to achieve this. Virtue theory received special attention from philosophers in the mid-20th century, who argued that more recent ethical theories were misguided in their focus on rules and actions rather than virtuous character traits. One example of virtue ethics is being courageous. In my 19 years of existence, being the youngest in the family, growing up, I'm always afraid of trying something new. Afraid of being left behind or being rejected. Fear is with me throughout my childhood days, but I realized that my life is not like the lives of my favorite princesses in the fairy tales. It's not always happy. Our life is like a roller coaster ride, more of ups and downs, but it's up to you on how you handle it and turn it into a positive way. As I grow older, I promised myself to have courage but also be kind. Courage is not the absence of fear. On the opposite, it is the presence of fear. In reality, there is no such thing as courage without fear. I assume that courageous people are scared from the start to the end of a battle, but for some reason, choose to fight anyway. Fear is required part of courage. If there is no fear, it isn't courage.